Welcome back, everyone. We're diving deep today into well, it's called the Cosmeno Realm. Kind of rolls off the tongue, doesn't it?
It does. Definitely grabs your attention.
It does. And from what I've been reading, this Cosmeno Realm, it's not just some like made up place. It's a whole society,
Yeah.
but with its own unique twist, right?
Exactly. Think street culture meets like deep spirituality, all wrapped up in some pretty elaborate traditions.
Okay, now I got to admit, when I first saw Cosmeno Realm, I thought, okay, this is going to be out there. But then I started reading about their social structures, their leadership roles, and I was hooked.
It's really fascinating how they built this whole system.
Yeah, so let's break it down for our listeners. First off, what exactly is the Cosmeno Realm? Like, paint us a picture.
All right, so imagine a community almost like a subculture, but it's evolved into a full-blown society, really, with its own rules, beliefs, the whole nine yards. And everyone there, they've chosen to live this Cosmeno lifestyle.
Cosmeno lifestyle, okay?
Yeah.
And the people who live this way, they're called?
Realmers.
Yeah.
Realmers. They're the ones who are, totally immersed in it, not just dabbling.
Gotcha. So it's not just like reading a book about it. You're living it, breathing it. Okay, so Realmers, Cosmeno lifestyle. And you mentioned earlier something about heading Q2 attire. That caught my eye. What's the deal with that?
Ah, yes. The heading do. It's kind of like their uniform, I guess you could say. A way for Realmers to show everyone, hey, this is who we are.
A visual signal, right?
Yeah.
Like, we're part of this.
Yeah.
But it's got to be more than just clothes.
Oh, yeah. Way more. Every little detail, every element, it all means something. It reflects their beliefs, their values, the whole Cosmeno shebang.
So are we talking like specific colors,
Mhm.
symbols, or is it a particular style?
It's all very symbolic from what I've gathered, but the sources we have, they don't really go deep into the specifics of the look.
Okay, so it's a bit of a mystery then. But we know it's
Yeah.
there, and it's a big deal. And you also mentioned these moralising rites, right? What are those all about?
Basically, rituals, ceremonies, things they do regularly to keep the Cosmeno way of life strong.
Like daily stuff
Hmm.
or big events?
Both. Could be anything from, I don't know, a daily meditation to like a huge festival, whatever it takes to keep the Cosmeno spirit alive.
Okay, so we've got the Realmers. They're living the Cosmeno life. They've got their special attire, their rituals. But then things get even more interesting when we talk about how their society is organized, right?
Right. It's quite unique. They've got this system. They call it Cosmeno-Zodiacan.
Cosmeno-Zodiacan, now that's a mouthful.
Yeah.
But I gotta say, it's kind of catchy.
Yeah, it's like they took zodiac and mixed it with kinship.
Exactly. So Zodiacan, Zodiac, kinship. What's the connection?
Well, basically, everyone in the Cosmeno realm, they're grouped into clans based on their zodiac signs. Like if you're a Leo, you're with all the other Leos and so on.
Wow. So your zodiac sign determines your social circle from the get-go.
Yep. It shapes everything, how they interact, even their roles within the community. It's like their astrology isn't just fun, it's fundamental.
So they're taking something that a lot of us might consider, lighthearted, and they're making it the foundation of their entire social structure.
Exactly. And,
Yeah.
For them, it seems to work.
I mean, it's definitely different. But hey, if it creates a sense of belonging, who are we to judge?
Right.
Okay, so we've got this strong emphasis on belonging, on tradition. So I'm guessing their leadership structure is pretty interesting too, huh? Tell me about these Cosmeno chiefs.
Oh, yeah. The Cosmeno chiefs, well, they're the leaders, but it's not a simple, like, top-down kind of thing. There are different types of Cosmeno chiefs. You've got the Rex chiefs up top. They're kind of like the executive branch. Then there's the Chamber of Elders for wisdom and guidance.
Okay, so already more complex than our own government, I'm sensing. And you mentioned Rex chiefs, and then within that, there are Rex chairs.
Yeah, the Rex chairs. Think of them like specialized departments. Each one focuses on a different part of Cosmeno life.
So like a Rex chair for culture, one for social issues, one for spirituality, that kind of thing.
Exactly. They've got it all divided up to make sure everything runs smoothly.
Okay, hold on. I need to catch my breath. This is a lot to take in. Before we dive deeper into those Rex chairs, which I definitely want to do, let's back up a sec.
Yeah.
How does someone even become a Rex chief in this whole elaborate system?
Well, it depends. The big one, the Realm Rex, they're elected for an indefinite term, actually. It's the Cosmeno-Realm Council that does the electing.
Okay, so like a president being chosen by parliament, kind of.
Yeah, you could
Yeah.
say that. But the other Rex chiefs, they're appointed by the Realm Rex.
So a mix of democracy and the appointment.
Right.
Interesting. And then there's this Rexley, who is like the the second in command,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Advises the Realm Rex.
Right. The Rexley is the prime chief. They're there to advise, represent the Realm Rex when needed, basically make sure everything's running smoothly.
And how do they choose the Rexley?
That's where it gets interesting again. Both the Council and the Chamber of Elders have a say. The Council elects them, but the Chamber of Elders has to nominate them first.
Checks and balances. They've really thought this through.
They have. And then, of course, there's the visual element. I mean, can we talk about the Realm Rex's insignia?
Oh, yeah, the gemstone orb. That sounds pretty cool.
It's more than just cool. It represents, it symbolizes their whole sanctuary, the core of the Cosmeno realm. And get this, it's not just sitting on a shelf somewhere.
Yeah.
It's carried by a Rex chief's companion, like a protector, bodyguard, always with the Realm Rex.
Wow, okay, so it's like a ceremonial object and a security measure all rolled into one. Pretty clever. Now, let's talk about this council that we keep mentioning. 2 chambers, right? The Chamber of Commons and the Chamber of Elders. What's the difference between those two?
Well, the Chamber of Commons is made up of realmers who are like really into the Cosmeno lifestyle, the 4 pillars, street culture, popular culture, astrology, and spirituality.
So they're not just residents, they're experts in what makes the Cosmeno realm tick.
Exactly. And then the Chamber of Elders, that's where you find the veterans.
The wise ones.
Right? The wise ones. Former Rex chiefs, anyone who's had a leadership role, supervisors, headmasters, former chiefs, they bring all that experience to the table.
Okay, so we've got the voices of the people, A and D, the voices of experience. But do they, work together, or do they each have their own specific powers?
Oh, they definitely have their own powers. The
Yeah.
Chamber of Commons, they get to elect both the Rexley and the Realm Rex. Pretty big deal.
Huge.
And the Chamber of Elders, they get to nominate the Rexley, so they have a say in who even gets to run, so to speak.
Wow, okay. We have covered so much ground already.
Yeah.
The basics of what the Cosmeno realm, even IIS, to the nitty-gritty of their leadership structure.
Yeah.
But there's still so much to unpack.
Oh, yeah. We've only just scratched the surface.
It really is amazing. It's like they've taken this idea of tradition of structure, but then infused it with this vibrant street culture.
Yeah.
And it works.
It does. And that's what makes it so fascinating to study. It challenges, our own assumptions about how a society can function.
Absolutely. But, okay, let's get back to those Rex chairs. We touched on them a bit earlier, how they each have their own area of focus. But I want to know more about what they actually do. Take the Display.Rex, for instance. What's their day-to-day like?
Well, imagine the Cosmeno realm is a stage, right? A giant stage. The Display.Rex, they're the director. They're making sure the whole thing looks and feels authentically Cosmeno.
Okay, so we're talking aesthetics.
Aesthetics, for sure. But also, the vibe, the energy. The Display.Rex oversees music, dancing, the arts, fashion, even food and festivals.
Wow, so they have a lot on their plate. It's like they're the minister of cool, making sure everything's on point.
Exactly. And they're also responsible for the public image of the Rex chiefs themselves, making sure they're representing, embodying those Cosmeno ideals.
So it's a mix of cultural guardianship and image management. Fascinating. Okay, what about the location Rex? What do they handle?
The location Rex, they're more grounded, I guess you could say, more focused on the day-to-day running of things within their town.
So like a mayor or a city manager.
Yeah, something like that. Environmental concerns, social issues, organizing events, dealing with complaints. They're the ones who keep the wheels turning.
Okay, that sounds like a busy job. But the Cosmeno realm, it's not like an isolated bubble, right?
Yeah.
They interact with the outside world. So that's where the outer Rex comes in.
You got it. The outer Rex is the diplomat, the one who builds bridges with other towns. Could be neighboring towns or even foreign ones.
So they're representing the Cosmeno realm on a larger scale.
Exactly. It's all about relationships, making sure the Cosmeno realm is, respected and recognized.
It's amazing how they've created this whole system that mirrors a larger nation, but within their own community.
Right. They have their own internal structure, their own way of interacting with the outside world.
And then, of course, we can't forget about the unseen Rex, the one who deals with the less tangible aspects of Cosmeno life.
Ah, yes. The unseen Rex. Spirituality, astrology, all of that. They're the ones who keep the Cosmeno realm aligned with the cosmos, I guess you could say.
Okay, so we've got these Rex chiefs, each with their specific roles, their specific areas of expertise. But we talked about how the Realmers have their own, dress code, their heading cue. What about their Rex chiefs? Do they have anything that sets them apart visually?
Oh, for sure. They've got their own garments, titles, even a special dress code. It's all about signifying their authority.
Like what kind of garments? Give us some examples.
Well, the sources mention things like the tall tea fit and the signing crown garb, which sound pretty impressive. And they're always addressed as honorary, as a sign of respect.
Okay, I'm picturing some elaborate robes, maybe a crown, but it's got to be more than just looking cool, right?
Definitely. It's about reinforcing their role, reminding everyone of, the values they embody, wisdom, leadership, connection to Cosmeno traditions.
It's like those visuals, they create a sense of awe, of respect.
I'd say so. We humans, we're very visual, symbols have power. And in the Cosmeno realm, it seems like those visuals are a key part of maintaining their social order.
Absolutely. Okay, before we move on to other aspects of the Cosmeno realm, I want to go back to the roamers for a moment. We've talked about their visual identity, their customs, all of that. But what about their aspirations? Like within this society, what are they striving for?
That's a good question. And to be honest, the sources, they don't really dig too deep into the individual aspirations of realmers.
So we don't know if they're like hoping to climb the ranks and become a Rex chief someday, or if they're content just living the Cosmeno life.
Right. What we do know is that their participation, their active participation, that's what keeps the whole thing going.
So it's more about contributing to the collective.
It seems that way. Shared purpose, communal living, those seem to be core values in the Cosmeno realm.
It makes you think, what would it be like to live in a place where your role is so clearly defined? Would it be stifling, or would it actually be kind of comforting?
Yeah, it's a really interesting question to consider. Some people, they thrive on structure, on tradition. Others, they need more freedom, more individuality. It really depends.
And we also have to consider the role of, what are they called? Cosmeno buddy organizations.
Right. The buddy organizations, they seem to be more focused on like popular culture, street culture.
So how do they fit into the bigger picture? How do they interact with, the Rex chiefs, the council, all the formal structures?
Honestly, that's something the sources don't really address. It's kind of a gap in our knowledge.
Well, it definitely raises some questions. Do these buddy organizations operate independently, or do they collaborate with the more established leadership?
Maybe it's a bit of both. Maybe there's this symbiotic relationship where each group, contributes something unique to the Cosmeno realm.
That's an interesting thought. Like, the buddy organizations bring fresh perspectives, new ideas, and the Rex chiefs and the council provide guidance, make sure everything stays aligned with Cosmeno values.
It would be fascinating to see how that dynamic plays out in reality.
Absolutely. It's like a microcosm of a larger society where different groups with different interests somehow manage to coexist and even, enhance each other. It really makes you think, doesn't it? Like, we're talking about a fictional society here, but it raises some big questions about how we live, how we organize ourselves.
Absolutely. It's like holding up a mirror, We see ourselves in these Cosmeno realmers, even if their way of life is so different from our own.
We've gone deep into their leadership structure, their Zodiacan system, this whole blend of street culture and spirituality. But as we wrap up our deep dive into the Cosmeno realm, I want to leave our listeners with a question.
Ooh, I like where this is going. Hit me with it.
So imagine, just for a moment, that the Cosmeno realm is real. Would you be drawn to it? Would you want to live there?
That's a tough one. I mean, on the one hand, you've got this incredible sense of belonging. Like everyone knows their place, everyone's working together towards a common goal.
Right, and there's that emphasis on tradition, on structure, which for some people that's really appealing. It's comforting.
Exactly. But then on the other hand, you have to wonder, what about individual freedom? What about those who want to break the mold, do their own thing?
Right. Would they feel stifled in the Cosmeno realm? Would they even be allowed to do their own thing?
It's a trade-off, isn't it? Every society, every way of life, it has its pluses and minuses. And the Cosmeno realm, it seems like they've really prioritized harmony, collective well-being, maybe sometimes at the expense of, individual expression.
It really makes you think about what's more important. Is it individual freedom or the well-being of the group, stability or innovation?
And there's no easy answer. It all depends on your own values, your priorities.
What's so great about exploring these different models, even fictional ones, is that it forces us to examine our own beliefs.
It challenges us to think outside the box, to consider different ways of being.
Exactly. So the Cosmeno realm, it may not be real in the literal sense, but it definitely sparks some real conversations.
It does. about human nature, about how we live, how we want to live.
And hey, who knows? Maybe somewhere out there, there eyes a real-life Cosmeno realm,
Yeah.
hidden away, waiting to be discovered.
Now that's a thought. A Cosmeno realm in our midst. Gotta keep our eyes peeled.
Always. Well, on that note, I want to thank everyone for joining us on this deep dive into the Cosmeno realm. We hope you enjoyed it, that it gave you something to think about.
And who knows, maybe even inspired you to create your own WN little Cosmeno realm.
Hey, why not? The possibilities are endless. Until next time, keep exploring, keep those minds open, and we'll catch you on our next deep dive.